Good evening. It is Saturday night, January 6th, and we have gone into one of the most exciting weather patterns. We have an active weather pattern taking place for the Midwest, the East Coast, even the West Coast. This is something which the Washington Post has described as a true rarity. We have, a lot of times we get extreme weather here in the United States, but it's rare to have, I believe they said 47 states getting extreme weather in the next upcoming week. Also for weather enthusiasts, this is a double exciting event for people living in cities like Chicago, St. Louis, here in the Midwest, and the East Coast, because we have serious winter weather on the way. Storm system number one comes in on Tuesday for here, us in the Chicago area. In fact, late Monday night already. It comes in as two waves, as we spoke about in the previous episodes. Both of them primarily snow here in the Chicago area. But let's get into the actual storm system. Storm system comes in, it's on the coast right now. It moves south. It's moving south down the coast to California all day tomorrow, bringing heavy rain over there. Sneaker waves, 16-foot waves, but sneaker waves might even be 32-foot waves. It's not clear. 32-foot waves that look like they're the same height as the 16-foot waves. Certainly out when you get out from the onshore area, we do get wave heights are forecasted to be between 30 and 35 feet off. And they say people who are swimming, I guess there are people swimming over there. I don't know, but the National Weather Service talks about people swimming. So those people should be very careful and stay next to lifeguards. I guess this is talking about in the subtropical areas. You head down into Southern California, maybe even further north than that. All right, so we have that going on with 1 to 2 foot mountain snows. That storm system then moves over the Rocky Mountains. It moves into the southern plains by Monday. The southern plains really means Texas. It moves into the Texas panhandle, places right around there, bringing a severe weather outbreak to the Gulf Coast states on Monday. An enhanced risk for severe weather at a level of a 3 out of 5. It's January, but 3 out of 5 says the Norman, Oklahoma Storm Prediction Center, with the possibility of even tornadoes. Summer heat heads into South Texas with temperatures in the 80s and high humidity. Totally phenomenal stuff. The storm system moves northeast. It heads into right along Interstate 44 for the state of Missouri and Interstate 70 as you head into Illinois, bringing its heaviest snow just north of the St. Louis area. Heaviest snow for right now, the bullseye looks to be about 6 to 12 inches with this system. We're dealing with a wet snow, so the snow to water ratio probably for many locations will be closer to 8 to 1. We're also dealing with a powerful wind. Many cities will receive the strongest winds ahead of the system when they're in the warmer air, but for many cities it's going to be when they're in the behind the system on the back air. It's the combination of the strong winds and the heavy snow that is why people are talking about a blizzard, because that is blizzard conditions. That produces blizzard conditions when you have visibility drops to a quarter mile or less for several consecutive hours. When you have that type of a combination, there doesn't necessarily have to be snow falling, but in this case there is expected to be snow falling. That's why the blizzard gets put in there. The Chicago area might only be getting 3 to 6 inches of snow, but you have times in Alaska you get blizzard warnings and it's sunny out. That's due to blowing snow. So you have, let's say, a 3 to 6 inch snowstorm here in the Chicago area. We're probably going to miss the bullseye, but you get heavier amounts when you get into the St. Louis area. But actually, I take that back. Heavier north of St. Louis. There are some computer models that show a bullseye for some reason in Missouri. There's a question mark as to whether Lake Michigan, especially for places like Milwaukee, whether Lake Michigan is going to eat into the snow totals or it's going to add to the snow totals. Because Lake Michigan is at 43 degrees right now, which is unusually warm for the end of January. This is going to produce tremendous lake enhancement with this system. The only thing is that it also possibly could transfer the precipitation over to rain. But I really don't think that many people agree with that because of the dynamic cooling. The precipitation rates will likely be heavy enough to keep the precipitation as snow, and that's really that's what's going to be doing it for a large part of the storm. It's something called dynamic cooling. It's when the precipitation is so heavy, it brings the cold air aloft from above down here. There's another thing called evaporative cooling, and that's going to be responsible for making the wet bulb temperatures a couple degrees lower than the actual temperatures. That's going to help keep the precipitation as snow as well. Even when it's falling more light, the precipitation might stay as snow even when it's light due to evaporative cooling. So we have those two coming together. We've spoken about that because this storm is very unique in that it's lacking an Arctic air mass. That's a major ingredient you need here in the Midwest to bring a major winter storm. But this storm is intensifying so quickly that itself is producing the forcing. The storm itself will be intense. 29.4 barometric pressure in Texas develops and intensifies to 28.9 by Wednesday morning as it heads into the eastern portions of Lake Michigan, of the Great Lakes. It goes just to the south and east of the southern portions of Lake Michigan, traveling again along Interstate 44 from Missouri, Interstate 70 when you get into Illinois. Precipitation changes over to rain for a time when you get into the South Bend, Indiana area, but it ends off as snow there as well. Next system comes in for Thursday. It's an Alberta Clipper bringing snow primarily to Wisconsin, but Chicago could get in on the southern tip of it. The real cold air comes in after that Alberta Clipper. Then another storm system develops off in the desert southwest, collides with Gulf moisture as it moves northeast. European computer model has the system missing the Chicago area basically completely. The GFS model has it going right through Chicago, the bullseye through Chicago, a phenomenal storm for next Saturday for Shabbos. So it's a big machlokas, totally different approaches, the European model and the GFS model. Either way though, colder air, even colder air comes in after that. We might have temperatures dropping into the single digits. Another system comes through the Midwest or the East Coast on Sunday night. That one also is expected to collide with Gulf moisture. That could be a strong storm system as well. Either way, whether it hits us or doesn't hit us, we do get even colder, bitterly cold Arctic air comes in on the backside of that system. Temperatures might even go below zero, maybe even significantly below zero. It could be a major Arctic outbreak. This is talking about Monday or Tuesday, January 16th or so. And that's about 10 days out from now. And that does it for that. Right now we have a significant storm taking place on the East Coast. You could read about it from the it's the Weather Prediction Center, has a great summary of many states that received about 7 inches of snow today so far. And there's been lots of rain, and New York City is believed to have gotten some snow from this. In Boston also a little bit of snow. So this has been an exciting event for those people on the East Coast, and also probably a disappointing event for many as well, for those places that did not get the snow that they thought they might get. There have been cities that got a significant, very significant amount of snow, but I only saw 7 inches so far as the max really, but that's what they have. The Weather Prediction Center has all of that information. So this is an El Nino weather pattern right now that's responsible for all this. The Washington Post makes that very clear. And as we spoke about before, storms become supercharged during an El Nino weather pattern. A lot of times there's no phasing during an El Nino weather pattern, and that's what we have coming up this Tuesday. Nonetheless, we're going to manage to get a snowstorm out of it. And then for this upcoming weekend, that is something, to me, it sounds like we're diverting a little bit from the El Nino weather pattern, because we are going to be getting the Arctic air. The gates open up and the Arctic air comes down south. That's something that happens every now and then, even in an El Nino year, but we're going to see where that's going to take us, because the National Weather Service has us in well below normal temperatures all the way through at least January 18th on their weather map. And in their discussion, it sounds like it might even go beyond that. We might be just flipping right now into a cold winter from a mild winter. Everyone stay safe, and thank you for listening. Enjoy your week and enjoy the snow or whatever weather you have. Just have lots of fun. And if you like those thunderstorms down south, and be safe if you're swimming in the out on the California coast or driving in the snow and stuff like that. Have a wonderful week. Take care.